featuring URGOT, the Dreadnought.
You die when I choose.
URGOT's passive is Echoing Flames. Attacking an enemy near one of URGOT's 6 legs will fire out a blast like a shotgun, damaging all enemies in the area. Each leg has its own internal cooldown. Additionally, multiple Echoing Flames for the same target deal reduced damage. In lane, URGOT's passive, combined with his ranged auto attacks, let him weaken his opponent before he goes for the kill. But be careful, the cooldown on each leg is quite long at lower levels, so if your legs are down, you're the one who's weak. URGOT's Q is Corrosive Charge, which explodes at a location, damaging and slowing everything around it. Enemy champion struck are Locked Onto. Locked Onto for what? That's up next. URGOT's W is Purge. When activated, he gains a shield and slow resist, but lowers his base movement speed for several seconds. While the effect holds, he automatically fires the nearest enemy, or preferentially, the nearest locked onto enemy champion. Like you'd expect, these attacks will trigger your passive at the correct angles, which means you'll want to reposition around your opponent to get all the damagey goodness. URGOT's E is Disdain. URGOT charges, damaging and pushing aside all enemies he tramples. If he runs into an enemy champion, he'll stop, stun them, throw them behind him, and lock onto them. If URGOT runs into a wall with Disdain, he'll stop at the wall, but won't stun or throw it over his head.
Hold on. There's something. That's better.
Getting on the other side of your opponents can be incredibly difficult, so it's hard to shoot all 6 Echoing Flames. Thankfully, Disdain puts your target right behind you if it connects, allowing you to get more bang for your buckshot.
A pathetic display.
URGOT's ultimate is Fear Beyond Death. URGOT fires out and impales the first enemy champion struck, damaging, slowing based on their missing health, and locking onto them for the duration of the tether. While impaled, things get scary for URGOT's foe. If they fall low enough, URGOT may recast Fear Beyond Death to seal their doom. He suppresses his prey and pulls his chains back in. When his target finally reaches him, he brutally executes them. If URGOT successfully grinds an enemy, he terrifies the living who still remain.
Power. Feel. These are my weapons.
Purge churns out a ton of damage, but it's up to you to make sure it hits the right targets. Locking onto the right one is paramount to avoid wasting all your damage and getting off on the wrong foot. Knee. URGOT may be beefy, but he is not a tank. His ranges are low, so he'll need good positioning not only to maximize his damage, but also to simply stay alive. Stay on the fringes of a fight, looking for the perfect moment to harvest your first victim with Fear Beyond Death. Try to draw an opponent out and unload your rotation on them. Once they're low, you can go for the execute even if they try to run away. From there, it's cleanup time. Focus on targets who can't escape you, and take them down one at a time. The most important skill to learn with URGOT is choosing the right moment to go all in. Done right, you'll go from URGOT to URGOT.